Hi, welcome to another lecture from Journalism 101, and joining me today is Scott Feeney. He is the head of our undergraduate integrated marketing communications program at Ole Miss. Thanks for being here today, Scott.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
So I'm going to hit you right off the top, kind of put you on the spot. Our textbook that we use defines integrated marketing communications as an overall communication strategy for reaching key audiences using advertising, public relations, sales promotion, and interactive media. Is that a good definition? Would you modify it in some way? What are your thoughts about that as a definition?
I think it's a good definition, but it's just a start. You know, and if you look at what IMC really is, it's about every interaction that an organization has with a customer or constituent is part of the brand message. So it is customer service. It involves, buildings, ambiance, it's product packaging, and things like that. You know, if you look at the Ole Miss campus, I think that, just the campus itself and the flowers and the landscaping and things like that, that really communicates a lot about what Ole Miss is and helps set the brand as well. And so as much as IMC, is the things that University Communications is doing, the ads and the PR and things like that, it's also the campus and the buildings and other things.
So to follow up on that, then, someone who works in IMC, how responsible are they for those things that don't usually fall into advertising, PR, marketing? Yeah. I mean, how can they influence those things?
Here, that's a good point. Here's exactly what I say. Very seldom is the marketing department responsible for all of those things. But good IMC people understand that, and they understand the big picture, and to the degree that they can use their influence to make sure that everybody in an organization is on the same page and has an impact on what customers think of the organization. So that's why I really think that IMC is as much an attitude and a mentality as it is a process.
Okay. And something you said reminded me of another topic that came up in our lecture, and that's this concept of branding. Mm-hmm. And so the textbook tended to define brand as more of sort of the brand name of Pear's soap, let's mm-hmm. say, or the brand name of Google. But the way you were describing it, and the way I think that probably is more useful for our students, is that brand is any interaction
absolutely
your publics have with your company, organization, etc.
It is, and quite honestly, the line between branding and IMC, it is so tight and so integrated. It's hard to know where one stops and the other one starts. But you're exactly right. It is everything. And when you're a customer or when you think about an organization, it's everything that organization does that kind of sets the stage for how you feel about them.
Okay. The textbook talks about a particular IMC campaign involving Denny's mm-hmm. restaurants, which I don't even know if we have any around here. So mm-hmm. some of our students may have never heard of Denny's restaurants, but it was in the 2010 Super Bowl. They had a big Super Bowl ad. They had a campaign to get customers to come try Denny's again. You'll get a free Grand Slam breakfast. They had a website. They had a number of ways that they were trying to reinvigorate the brand, I guess. Mm-hmm. What, in terms of, is there a more modern example? I mean, 2010 is not that long ago, but is there something that took place more recently that you would point to as a really strong IMC campaign?
Yeah. Well, one of the things, when you were mentioning that, I was thinking of IHOP. And I saw a quote from the head of marketing at IHOP, and they said that the single most important thing that they do for their brand, or that sets the stage for who they are, is their menu. And I thought that was really interesting, because again, there's a tendency to think IMC, it's all about advertising and the public relations and things like that, and it is. I'm not trying to minimize that at all. But to think, that the point where that brand really connects with the consumer is, they hand you the menu, and the things that are on the menu, the way the pricing is, the products and things like that. Another example of something that I was thinking about is Snickers. With their, I think it's
it really satisfies.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah, and you're not you when you're hungry type thing.
Right.
So, and if you look at what they did, it's similar to what Denny's did as well. I mean, they have the Super Bowl, advertising is where they kind of kick it off, but they do a tremendous amount with social media. They have, celebrities, they have coupons and things that are kind of, tie in with that particular theme, and just, again, it's again, like the Denny's, it's just a variety of things. Another company that I think really, really gets it when it comes to IMC, and this isn't so much a campaign, but it's Apple. Mm-hmm. And if you look at, their, complete integration between, how they, position their products themselves. If you look at how the products are packaged, when you buy an Apple product, it doesn't just come in a sack. I mean, it's, they spend a lot on the packaging because they know that, is part of the experience as well. If you look at the building, the new Apple headquarters, I believe it opens this year, but it is a round building, and it so perfectly, syncs up with, what their brand is all about, and the, home buttons on the iPads and the rounded corners, and if you look at how Apple prices their products, they don't put things on sale. They don't, you don't have 20% off this weekend on Apple products and things, and it's because they understand the connection between how things are priced and how price is communicated and the image that you have of them.
So obviously we have a very robust IMC program at Ole Miss, one of the, if not the fastest, one of the fastest growing programs on campus. Who makes a good IMC student? I mean, who should be, a lot of these students are watching or participating in Journalism 101. They may still not be clear on what they want to do. So who would be right for an IMC degree?
Yeah, I think it is, there's certain attributes, inquisitiveness, wanting to understand how things work. And that's because, again, IMC, it's a very big picture type of thing. You have to know how to write well. You have to know how to communicate and persuade and get your message across and sell your ideas and things like that. But I also think, again, just understanding that, especially your first job in IMC, you might be editing a newsletter or doing a blog or something like that, and that's great. But if you can help your employer understand that it's so much bigger than that, and that everything they do really shapes the brand, I think, that's how you will advance in your career, is if you have that type of strategic thinking.
So is there anything else that you would like students to know about IMC?
Yeah, I think it's a good program, and I think one of the reasons that it's grown like it has is because it's a combination of, the creative skills, the, advertising and the public relations and the social media and new media and things like that. But it also has the business skills. And so there, sometimes I actually describe it as maybe the creative side of business. And so you've kind of got both sides of the equation. And I had a student, a recent graduate, who was visiting with her, and it was interesting because she thanked me for the accounting classes. A lot of times students, why do we have to take accounting and things? And she's been on her, her new job for less than 2 months, and was already saying, I understand now, because I've had to sit in meetings where people are talking about, issues related to budgets and numbers and things like that, and thank you for having those courses.
Well, that's a first. You heard it here first. Someone said, thank you for Accounting 202. Well, thank you so much, Scott, for joining me today.
Thank you very much for doing this.
Appreciate the explanation of IMC.
Yep, I love talking about it, so thanks.